What's up everybody? Mad Chef Dog here, and today I'm going to teach you how to make my famous Cathead biscuits and sausage gravy. And if you've ever visited me at my restaurant back in the day, well now it's time to pay attention because I'm going to show you how to make these bad boys. Let's get started. First thing we're going to want to do, y'all, you don't need a glove, but we're going to get our cast iron skillet greased up and have our oven preheated to 450. My oven's already ready, so I'm going to use this butter flavored Crisco to get my pan greased up and ready. Alright, now that we got that done, just take your glove off. And we'll set this off to the side and we'll get everything set up for the biscuits. Alright, now that we got all that out of the way, we got our big bowl. Now, you're going to want to sift your flour. If you don't have one of these, don't worry. You can use your little strainer, same thing. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this. Take your flour, your 4.5 cups of flour, just put a little bit in there at a time. And just sift. Now I tell you one thing, customers really did enjoy these back in the day. It's a real labor of love right here. Can't wait to eat these. Alright, now that that's sifted, just move that out of our way. Now the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to add some ingredients. Get your whisk. You want to blend all that together. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut in a half a stick of butter and 1/3 cup of buttered flavored Crisco. And you want to get the buttered flavored Crisco. Trust me. Now what I like to do is I take my hands and I break the butter into the flour. You can use a fork, you can use a food processor, but this is how we made them. All the time for you guys. Man, do I miss doing this. This is fun. Almost done. Yeah, nice and flaky with that butter in there. One last check for any big pieces. If you miss one, don't worry about it. Just gonna add a little bit more flavor in that one biscuit. All right. Now that we're at this part, I like to keep my gloves on, less cleanup. But we're going to get our 2 cups of buttermilk. And I use the Bulgarian buttermilk from Borden. And you can see that right here. Now, we're going to go ahead and pour this in a little bit at a time. Yeah, a little messy, but it's all right. Once you get it all in here, we'll set this off and then you're going to want to start mixing it up together. Well, now that we got ourselves nice and stuck together here, we're going to go ahead and take these gloves off and we're going to get the counter set up with some flour to do the next step. All right. Now that we got everything out of the way, we'll go ahead and get this set up with a little bit of flour on the table. I'll go ahead and just kind of spread it out like I already have here. Get a little bit on your gloves or hands. Now we're going to grab our dough. Go ahead and set it right down on that flour. Scrape out any ends. And then what we're going to do is get us our flour. Put a little bit on there. Now that we got that flour on there, what I'm doing, it's going to help it keep from sticking together when you go to make your biscuits and on the table. We're going to flip it over. All right, look at that, man. All right. Now we're going to flip it back over. I check both sides to make sure everything looks good and nothing's falling apart. It's going to look like this. It's going to look like it wants to fall apart, but don't worry. But now, you want to kind of pat it out at an even all the way around. See how it's nice and thick all the way around? We're gonna get 8 good biscuits out of this. And you can either get a 3-inch biscuit cutter or a big cup. It's a 24-inch cup, nice rim. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna lay that down, and then I just need to see. I'm gonna press out just a little bit more. Now we'll put that cup right in the middle. Make sure you're centered. Go ahead and put a little bit of flour on that so it doesn't stick, and then just cut right down. And then 1 biscuit comes out. Bam. And now you'll do that until you get 8 of these. And then we'll just take these and put them off to the side as we make them. Go ahead and put our biscuits. Start from the center and then work your way around. Now, if your biscuits are not cold enough, like I said, they need to be really cold to rise, and I do this quickly for a reason. You want to get all your biscuits in here quickly, because if they're not cold, they won't rise the way you want them. All right, now all the biscuits are in here. The next thing we're going to do real quick, we're going to get our butter, and we're going to go ahead and brush half of this melted butter you see here on top of the biscuits. Now just make sure you spread it evenly across all of them. And you're going to save some of this butter for the end, so when they come out, you can put some of it on there too. Can't wait, y'all. This is looking yummy. All right, now that we got them all nice and buttery, I'm going to go put them in that preheated 450 oven for about 30 to 35 minutes. And don't forget, turn them halfway through. All right, y'all. Now it's time to make that sausage gravy. First thing you're going to want to get is your 1 pound of sausage. And I like to use the Jimmy Dean Country Mild sausage. But today I'm using some sausage patties that I had that I chopped up. So let's get that in our pan. Start cooking. Remember that little bit of Crisco we had left? Just throw that in there. No waste, y'all. No waste. Now we're just gonna want to cook this up until all the grease has rendered out, and you don't want to dump the grease because we're going to turn this sausage into a roux to make our gravy. All right, guys, now that our sausage has rendered down, we got some grease. You can take a 1/4 cup of your flour, just dump it right in there. And you're going to take make sure you got a heat tempered spatula, otherwise that rubber part's going to melt. But now you're just going to want to mix this stuff up till everything's coated, and you're going to want to let it brown. Might have to add a little bit more flour. One thing to remember, never eat raw flour. Always cook it, because it doesn't taste very well when it's raw, y'all. And you probably get sick. But there we go, that's good. Now we're gonna just keep stirring this around and brown it. And I've got my stove on medium-high right now so we can get that nice and browned. All right, now that it's browned up enough, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our milk. I got 4 cups of whole milk. We're going to add just about a cup of it in here so we can turn this roux into a nice paste. Once it gets nice and thick, we're going to start adding our milk the rest of the way. Add it in slowly, though. Go ahead and start adding in a little bit of our milk. Put a little bit in at a time. I'll eventually switch over to using a whisk, but I'm going to use this at first. What we're going to do now, turn our temperature of our stove down just a little bit, and you want to add your pepper and salt to your liking. It's about what I like. Might have to add a little more. We'll just go a little more. You can always add more if you need it. So don't kill your gravy ahead of time. Too much salt will make it no bueno. All right. Now what we're going to let it do is continue slowly cooking a little bit until it thickens up to where we want it to be. But before we let that, I'm going to give it a little taste. A little bit more salt. Like I said, y'all, might have to add a little bit of salt as you go along, but to your liking, always remember that. All right. That tasted really good, by the way. But this is how you make my yummy sausage gravy. Now what we're going to let it do is we're going to let it finish cooking and thicken up, and we'll be back with you when we get to them biscuits, y'all. Man, look at these, y'all. Fresh out of the oven. Now, we're going to set that down because that's hot. Now, remember that little bit of butter we have left? Now we're going to go ahead and coat these with it. Coat that last little butter on there. Ooh, yeah. Sizzle, baby, sizzle. You can add as much butter as you want. It don't matter. The butterier, the better. There we go. Ooh, yeah. All right, everybody. It's time. The biscuits are cooled off enough to touch, and the gravy's done. Let's dig in. Let's check this out. Get you a little butter knife so you can separate it. Ooh, boy. Woo! Man. There we go. Wiggle it loose a little bit. Grab us a fork. Look at that, everybody. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Now, let's get it over here. Let's get us a little cut open action. Ooh, boy. This is going to be so yummy. You can make your biscuits and gravy how you want, but I like to cut mine open. And now let's come over here. Follow me, follow me. Whoop, that's not good. Now we're going to get us a big old scoop of that gravy. Oh, yeah. Look at that stuff. Oh, yeah. That looks yummy. Now, here's the time. Let's try this together, y'all. It's been a minute. Couldn't have made it any better, y'all. But now you know how to make these bad boys and my gravy. Get to it and show me some love. See you later.